Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the build. So today's question asks about networking when starting in private practice. So this person asked me a question, and the question is, how can I network with other therapists? Is it even necessary to network with other therapists in building my private practice? And so my answer to that is a definite yes. Networking is a basic element of building your private practice. You must build a solid network of practitioners, and these should be people that you're connecting with on a regular basis. Why, right? You might think, oh, this is competition, or why would I want other people who are also looking for my clients who want, the same clients that I want, and we're all trying to build. Why would I want to connect with these people? How can that serve me? So here's why. You want to create a solid referral base from your network. They're not going to want to see every single person that calls them. You're not going to want to see every single person that calls you and wants services. There are going to be times where it's just a mismatch in terms of what the actual needs are. There are going to be times when you or these other therapists are just full or at capacity. And there are going to be times where it's just not a personality match, or maybe you find out that they are your, next door neighbor's sister or whatever it might be. There are plenty of reasons that you want to be able to cross refer pretty easily and have those contacts at hand. Another thing to think about is information. So your network is an ongoing source of information, right? You can discuss treatment issues, concerns, larger issues that affect the mental health field, smaller issues, um, and obviously without breaching confidentiality, you could even talk about some of the themes around the concerns that are coming up overall with your work. So, and you want to think about your network as a useful tool, as a really, really important tool to getting this work done, to building a client base, to sustaining a client base, and even just to commiserate, right? Like this work gets really hard. You want to have people you can talk to on the phone and say, hey, I had a really tough day. Can you believe that this happened? Take some of the loneliness out of private practice, some of the isolation that causes some people to give up. So there are other things, right? You might decide to do presentations together or work together in some ongoing capacity. If you haven't reached out and you haven't built this network, how can you do that, right? I'm part of an amazing peer supervision group of, it's currently 4 therapists, including myself. We're all private practice builders. We've been, had a weekly meeting schedule for over the last 3 years. I want to say about 4 years now. That's been a terrific experience. It's helped me personally, it's helped me professionally. They've helped propel me in reaching my goals and also in taking care of myself. And I'd like to think that I've helped them too. So you definitely do want to build a network, and it's necessary. Now for the second part of the question, how, right? How do you build a network? You're working in this office building or, home or wherever it is that you're working, where you're renting an office space, oftentimes alone. Oftentimes there may be a couple of other businesses in there, but usually it's not, a full suite of private practices. Sometimes it is though. So how do you do that? How do you build this network? First, you want to find out who's in your area. So literally do a Google search. Who are the other therapists that are in your area? What are their specialties? What are their names? I would say look around the physical area of where you are practicing from and see who's in practice and what they're doing. If you're in a city, obviously you can just do maybe 10-mile radius and you're going to find plenty of people. If you're in a more rural setting, then you might need to do, a 50-mile radius and see who's available and who's in the area. You can do a Google search, you can search in Psychology Today or some of the more common platforms that we advertise on, and just figure it out. You can post online if there are any local chapters of the National Association of Social Workers or some of the larger chapters that tailor and really focus on the work of counselors or psychologists. You can tap into those online as a way of starting to build your network and building connections. Another thing you can do when you do figure out who these therapists are, send an introductory email, right? Email and say, hello, my name is Amira and I'm building a practice in Brooklyn and I would love to talk with you. Are you available to speak anytime soon? Or here's some information about my practice. Maybe we can cross refer. Can you tell me a little bit about your practice? Call, send a card, do all the above. Just really reach out the way that you would with a friend that you're trying to connect with. You can think about your needs, and do you need a peer supervision group? Do you need a group where you focus on like specific topics, maybe some sort of a learning group that you want to be part of or co-create or create? And if if those don't work, or if you're just interested in it, you can also really try to explore the needs of the other therapists in your community and be part of co-creating something to focus on meeting those needs, right? So there are lots of ways to start to try to be active and connected with a good solid network. I want you to think about it. I'm going to use this analogy, okay? So I want you to think about it like a tree. Now, I don't know if you've ever gotten, a brand new tree, one that's just started growing, and from the nursery, they plant it for you. And this tree needs a lot of care. This tree needs water on a regular basis. Usually you use a water bag or something similar. Make sure it's adequately watered. You have to fill that regularly. You have to check for insect infestations. At some point as it grows, you're going to have to start trimming the branches. You're going to have to do a lot of things to make sure that this tree is okay. People, think it's simple, and it is pretty simple, but it's also work. So just like your practice is going to be. Now, you want to go on vacation, right? There's no one's here to watch over your tree. No one's here to make sure everything is okay. So, do you want to be the sole caretaker of this tree, or would you rather have a team of gardeners with multiple specialties helping you to grow your tree? That is what I want you to think of your network as and your practice as. Do you want to do this solo and everything is on you and you have no support? Or do you want a team of gardeners, a team of professionals to help you reach your goals? So, yes, networking is absolutely necessary, and that's how you can do it. Okay.